Glaurung, the great worm of Angband, he represented the fire dragons called Uraloki. Glaurung was the first dragon bred by Morgoth and one of the most powerful. He looked like a huge lizard, had no wings but could breathe fire. His enormous size did not prevent him from moving agilely. He had more precise eyesight than eagles, and he could see farther than elves. He could also hypnotize his victims with his eyesight. He was intelligent, clever, and incredibly strong. His birth date is unknown, but he first appeared in 260 AD when he left Angband during the siege of the Noldor. The elves fled to the mountains of Erdwethrin and Dorthonion in fear of the dragon. Glaurung was killed at Cape Deneros when he decided to cross to the other side of the Diglin to launch an attack on Brethil. The dragon threw himself forward, over the ravine, where he caught hold of the ground with his claws. He began to drag his body to the other side, but Turin was hidden in the ravine, and he surprised the dragon and thrust a long sword into his belly with all his strength. When Glaurung felt the blade in his stomach, he let out a terrifying roar that sent tremors through the forest. With the last of his strength he threw his body across the chasm. After a moment of writhing in pain, he lay down on the ground. He lay there with his mouth open and his eyes closed, his fire extinguished. As Turin pulled the sword from the dragon's body, poisonous blood sprayed from the wound, scalding to Rambar. The monster, still breathing, opened its eyes. With its gaze it caused Turin to faint and fall next to the dragon. Soon afterwards Ninel came to the scene, and despite her fear she approached the dying dragon and the lying Turin. She was unable to awaken Turin, but her voice awakened the dragon. He spoke to her and restored her memory that her name was Nienor and she was the daughter of Hurin and her husband was Turin, her brother. This led to the suicide death of her and then of Turin. After these words Glaurung died and his body was burned.